Years ago that I grew up very, very poor. But I didn't know it because my parents were very, very creative with their poverty. And when they had me, they were living in Harlem, and they said, let's not be poor in the city, let's be poor in the country. So they moved to Bayshore, Long Island, which was a clam digging, potato and duck farm community. Essentially seashore town, agricultural town. Not a lot of jazz going on there. But my dad, because he was a musician and because it was the early 50s, he got caught in the crack of rock and roll coming in and big band swing phasing out. So he lost his job as a musician, but he continued to practice because once you have that discipline, you keep it up for the rest of your life. And because my parents were poor, they did not want to ever leave me with a babysitter, nor could they, sometimes they couldn't afford to. So the way that they solved that issue was they worked split shifts. So I spent, which most girls in the 50s did not spend a lot of time with their dads because their dads were off working. Well, my dad worked nights. So I spent my days at home with my father, listening to him practice, having him show me what key signatures were, explaining music to me, and spending my entire day being immersed in all kinds of music. It was nothing to be awakened in our house by Stravinsky's Firebird, which will really wake you up in the morning. And then my dad would go from that into some Duke Ellington, and then he'd listen to some Hank Williams, and then he'd listen to some Tito Puente. He listened to everything. So I grew up thinking that music was this thing you either liked or didn't like.
Hair starts with 100.
And that's very true. So, and so it gave me a feeling about music that is just very open. You know, I feel the same way about music that I feel about people. There are people I like and people I don't like, and I don't care where they come from or what color they are or what their political belief is. We either get along or we don't, and I'm the same way with music. And I really don't like categorizing music. But I feel so strong about this particular genre because we could lose it. This could go away. 10 years from now, nobody will know what jazz is, or how to sing it, or what it means, or unless we are diligent about keeping it out there. I noticed, because I spent 15 years in the ad business, whenever they want to sell something sophisticated and magnificent and chic, the underscoring for it is always jazz. You know, I'm fascinated by all the excitement and energy around La La Land because it tried to focus on what some people think is jazz. We won't get into that conversation now. But it's something that could very easily be lost to us and be lost to American culture. And it would be a tremendous loss if we lose this music because it is so American. And being of African American descent, it's very much a part of the African American experience. It came out of that experience. Bebop was something that was created by black musicians to show white musicians who did not think they could read that not only could they read, they could take their song and turn it out. If you've ever listened to a bebop record, there's a tradition in bebop where you play the melody first, you acknowledge the song. You play the song the way it's written, all the way through. And then you take your own journey. And that's what's magnificent to me about jazz. And that's what represents the most American aspect of jazz. Because we are a nation of improvisers. We know how to jump on and off a bandwagon. Oh, that doesn't work, let's do this. And that's what jazz is all about. That's what scatting is all about. I always equate scatting to skiing backwards with a blindfold at 90 miles an hour. Because you have music coming at you like this, and you're trying to figure out what note you're going to sing next that accompanies that music, that stimulates that music, that makes that music grow into a whole other thing. So this is to me, the quintessential American music. Let's get some